It's the Car and Bike Show on the NDTV network. My name is Siddharth Vinayak Patankar. Thank you for joining us. And today we will have for you two products that are zooming into our market and products that have been talked about for quite some months now. The Hyundai Tucson is the first one and the RE Hunter 350 is the second. Let's get started with the new Tucson and tell you everything about the India spec. Ameya is spending time with the car just outside of Bangalore.
This is not the first time you're seeing the fourth generation of the Tucson on Car and Bike. Remember Siddharth's exclusive review? And now it's landed on Indian shores. And boy oh boy, does it look gorgeous. While Siddharth gave you a detailed analysis of the design in our exclusive review, I'd like to talk more about the highlights. And the highlights are the hidden elements of the Tucson. First being the LED DRLs. Look at that, they just light up so well and it's so well integrated into this parametric grille. After that, you of course have the hidden rear wiper, which is tucked inside the rear spoiler, and that is very innovative. But the busiest part of the Tucson design, well, is on the side. And look at it, there are so many geometric concoctions here. It's like going to geometry class, isn't it? It looks absolutely fine, and for those talking about this design getting dated or in the next few years, it definitely won't, because this one definitely looks good, more futuristic. On the rear then, you have these nice connecting tail light elements which actually bring out a unique side of the Tucson. Yes, it has that Ford Mark-E kind of vibe. The Ford Mark-E, it had three such elements on the tail lamps joined together. This one has a separate one altogether, but still it looks absolutely gorgeous. And yes, at night driving down, come to this, it definitely will attract your attention. The Tucson has grown in size over its predecessor. The length has gone up by 150 millimeters, width by 15 millimeters, and height by 5 millimeters. Here you can see the 18-inch tires, which do justice to its wider stance. In fact, though taller than its predecessor, the design of the car is such that it squats down, and that brings out some aggression. That's smart designing. And there are more smart elements in the cabin too. So let me begin by talking about the hidden elements inside the car. Yes, there are hidden elements here. So let me talk about the air vents that you have there. They're seamlessly integrated into the dashboard, which basically shows how intelligently all of it has been designed. Now, the sense of space also goes up because you have a beige colored upholstery, and then you have the larger glass areas. The windshield, the windows, the panoramic sunroof. There's just so much space suddenly that you come to know about inside the Tucson. The two elements that I wanted to really talk about are both are basically 10.25 inch screens. One is the instrument cluster, the other is the infotainment system. This is actually very intuitive and extremely well made. The graphics to pop up on the instrument cluster when you change modes, the driving modes that you change, they just pop, and it's really a nice way to go. Now you also get wireless charging, but you don't get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And that, according to us, is a big miss, because in this segment, that should have been there. You get ventilated seats, power adjustable front seats, and also Blue Link connectivity. The Tucson gets connected features, and this time around, the company's Hyderabad team has been able to incorporate 10 regional languages, including Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, among others, to support voice commands. In fact, this time around, there are 104 commands which work without the use of internet. We'll definitely put all those features to the test in our tech review, which will come very soon. The space at the rear too is good. As you can see, I have great leg room, knee room and shoulder room. And though the roof slopes down, there is good enough headroom. But it could have done with more under thigh support. You also get rear AC vents and USB charging ports. The boot too is extremely spacious with 540 liters on offer. Drop the two rear seats and there is more space to offer. Let's get to the heart of the matter now. First, the petrol. I've got my hands on the 2-liter petrol first. This one punches out 154 brake horsepower and there's 192 Newton meters of torque on offer. I can't somehow wrap my head around the fact that the Alcazar also gets a 2-liter petrol engine but makes more brake horsepower than this. Anyway, this is a 6-speed automatic gearbox that you get, and well, it is smooth off the block. There is a stark difference in the way you drive when it comes to, say, the eco mode and the normal mode. It's more relaxed there. In sport mode, everything just gets a little tauter. It's really good fun to drive. In fact, the steering too weighs up pretty well. It just makes for an engaging drive. The only thing is that auto gearbox does not keep up with your rev. So every time I put my foot down, yeah, I have to deal with that noise. Now it's in the eco and the normal mode, it is a little more pronounced because the gears change at different rev counts. But you know, that's what I mean. There is an essential lag, especially in the petrol. The petrol does disappoint, and the fact that there's 2 bhp less power coming out of it compared to the Alcazar, we cannot get our head around it. But you know what? It's extremely refined. But it's the diesel that grabs your attention. Yes, because the diesel is going to be the best selling car. For obvious reasons, you know, because, well, people know from experience that the Tucson diesels have always been great. Plus the power figures, 184 brake horsepower on offer, 460 Newton meters of torque from around 2000 RPM. And it delivers too. Yes, there is a lag initially, but you know, move to sport mode and you know, all of that just goes away. It is absolutely fun, and that 8-speed gearbox really works wonders. And you know, this is a completely different experience from the petrol I was driving. I didn't like the petrol so much. This one has just blown me away because the gear shifts so well and it's extremely fun. This one is chockable, and of course this one gets the 4-wheel drive system as well, so there is that added advantage. But it is absolute fun. When it comes to ride and handling, the Tucson is pretty sorted. You know, because it squats down, you don't really feel you're driving a bigger car. You feel like you're driving a hatch or a smaller car. And that's why you're pretty confident when you go into the sterns. The tires also help a lot because there is a lot of grip on offer. The suspension is actually tuned for comfort, and you feel that too. even the undulations on the road are dealt with ease, like that one. And then you have some rough patches as well, which get easily dispatched. So it's pretty decent that way when it comes to ride and handling. And you know what, it'll take on any kind of roads, any kind of undulations or potholes with ease, and it won't disturb the passengers inside the car. And that's its biggest strength, because the Tucson has always been that dependable car which has had the ride and handling and comfort aspect always sorted. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to safety. 6 airbags, ABS with EBD, electronic stability control, vehicle stability control, tire pressure monitoring system, and more. The list of standard features is endless. And then of course there's the ADAS tech, which is only available in the top spec. And we took you through most of the features in our other video. But we did try some features like smart cruise control and even lane keeping assist. And yes, they worked like a charm. With all these features, how has Hyundai positioned the Tucson? Price for the petrol begins from 27,70,000 rupees, going all the way up to 30,17,000 rupees. The diesel costs 30,19,000 rupees, and the 4WD tops out at 34,39,000 rupees. Yes, the Tucson then is expensive. It's close to 10 lakh rupees more expensive than its direct rival, the Jeep Compass. This basically throws it into the Meridian, the Citroën C5 Aircross, and even the Volkswagen Tiguan space. View it from that angle and you'll see how big on features and looks the Tucson really is. But we certainly think that it should have been more aggressively priced. Having said all of that, the Tucson does justice to the flagship tag it holds. It looks stunning and is feature rich as well. Yes, there are some misses, but the diesel just blows your mind away. And for me, if you're looking to buy a premium midsize SUV, forget everything else and buy the Tucson diesel.
This gorgeous car you're seeing with me on the show today, that is the hybrid version of the Maserati Levante SUV. More details on what it's all about and how it drives are on car&bike.com. Let's take a short break. Please think about what you liked or didn't like in the Tucson and wait for the new Royal Enfield on the other side. Welcome back. The latest from Royal Enfield is its most affordable bike. There's been lots of talk about the Hunter 350. It shares a platform but gives you a different attribute and a different kind of access. Preetham brings you lots of details on the new Hunter from Bangkok in Thailand.
Royal Enfield expands its 350cc motorcycle family with a new member, the all-new Hunter 350. Based on the J Series 350cc engine, the Hunter is the most accessible model in Royal Enfield's 350cc lineup. It's smaller, more compact in size, lighter and agile, and intended to appeal to a wider audience of new riders, younger riders, and even women.
The Royal Enfield brand is best known for its heritage-rich models like the Bullet 350 and the best-selling Classic 350. In recent times, the new 650 Twins as well as the Himalayan has helped Royal Enfield make inroads into global markets. But it's still the domestic market where Royal Enfield sells about 90% of its volumes. And it's the 350cc models which form the bulk of the overall volumes. Now, the Hunter 350 has been designed to offer a new flavor in the 350cc product category. to bring in a wider audience of new riders, even beginners, or someone upgrading from a 150 to 200cc segment to slightly bigger 350cc model. This audience may find a quintessential classic or the Bullet a little too big or a little too classic for their liking. So it's a modern neo-retro styled model which will not only help Royal Enfield in the domestic market but also in emerging markets like Southeast Asia. That's the main premise of the new Hunter 350, to widen the audience base of Royal Enfield's 350cc product segment.
The Hunter 350 does look promising. It looks sporty, compact, and with the smaller 17-inch wheels, it looks poised and ready to sprint. It still has a retro-inspired silhouette, but there's more hint of modern touches than classic design elements of Royal Enfield's other 350cc models. The round headlight is a definite retro touch, but it's halogen, and the indicators are bulb type. The tail section with a short rear fender gives it a sporty touch, and the tail light is LED. The top spec Hunter 350 Metro variant runs on 17-inch cast alloy wheels with dual channel ABS. The single pod instrument console has a small digital screen with the basic necessary readouts, but the tripper navigation pod is an optional extra. There's even a handy USB charging port to charge your devices on the go. There seems to be genuine attention given to fit and finish, and the Hunter 350's build quality is quite nice. It does make for a striking and attractive pose from all angles.
It may share its engine with the classic 350 and the Meteor 350, but the Hunter is a completely new motorcycle in its own right. That engine is still a stress member of the frame, and the front part of the dual cradle chassis is shared with the classic 350. But while the classic has a bolt-on structure which extends to the foot peg hangers, this one has a completely new rear part of the frame to accommodate the new bodywork and design language. The foot pegs have been moved back by about 100mm, and the wheelbase has been shortened by about 20mm. The smaller 17-inch wheel has sharpened the steering geometry a bit, but more importantly, the Hunter 350 is a full 14 kgs lighter than the classic 350. But how is it to ride really? Let's go find out.
Straight away, the Hunter feels planted, agile, and light on its feet. In traffic, it is easy to maneuver, and the urban jungle is where the Hunter is in its element. Out in the open road, the Hunter can cruise steadily, and it's well balanced, steers well, and remains quite planted, even when hustled around the odd corner. Bangkok is a bustling city, even at night. And the Hunter feels right at home. It's a fun little bike, slicing through traffic and dashing from stoplight to stoplight. A final event in the night is to experience the Hunter's agility around a go-kart track. The surface is somewhat slick, and choosing to be safe than sorry, we let the Hunter 350 loose. Its lightweight and agility is immediately apparent. Perhaps with stickier and more premium tires, the Hunter 350 will definitely grip even better. Not that the CX had any less grip on offer or any less confidence. Light, agile, and a hoot to ride. That's how the Hunter's personality can be summed up. As an entry-level motorcycle, the Hunter makes perfect sense and will perhaps even appeal to riders upgrading from smaller motorcycles who so far didn't find an accessible and relatively light and agile roadster in the Royal Enfield family. The Hunter looks good, is well built, and will certainly help Royal Enfield appeal to a wider audience possibly attracting a lot of non-Royal Enfield riders into the family. To that end, it covers all bases, but more importantly, it underscores the new Royal Enfield as a manufacturer of motorcycles which are world-class in their own right.
That's a wrap here on CNB. Please tell us what you liked about the show or what you did not as well. And definitely join me next week when we'll bring you plenty more excitement. In the meanwhile, please wear your seatbelts and your helmets.